want to talk to you a little bit about selling a house. When you sell a house, there are many preparations you can do in order to make that transition very smooth. One thing a seller can do in order to make their transition smooth in selling their home is to prepare for all the tenancies that they have in their home. Many times when you sell a home, the new buyer wants that home vacant. They want all the tenants out at the time of closing. Now, you may have a tenant in their house and that tenant doesn't have a lease. You may also give notice to that tenant verbally and tell them that you plan to sell the house and that the new buyer wants the property vacant. But that may not make that tenant move. In order to have a head start on your tenant, you need to be very aggressive with respect to making sure that the house is vacant at the time of closing. If you try to close and the house is not vacant, it can cost the seller a lot of money. The buyer may decide to go ahead and close title and keep the tenant in the house. However, that may also have the seller deposit a large sum of money in escrow with their attorney and pay the buyer a monthly payment until that tenant has been evicted or vacates. That's a large pill to swallow when you're selling a home. So when you're selling a home, as soon as you first realize you're selling a home, you talk to your broker and you ask them if they are going to sell the house with the tenant or without the tenant. If the broker is saying that the house will be sold without the tenant, then you need to speak to a real estate attorney who does evictions and to serve that tenant who doesn't have a lease with the 30 days notice. You need to be very aggressive in doing that because first that's giving that tenant at least 30 days to move. If the tenant doesn't move after the 30 days, then you still have to file for a court date. The tenant could go to court and ask for one or two adjournments before your case is even heard by the judge. And eventually, when your case is heard by the judge, you may have to end up settling the case and still give that tenant time to move. That could be anywhere from a 3 to a 6, 7, 8 month process, depending how aggressively you are attacking the case. But that also may prevent you from closing on time. So once you realize you want to sell your house, the best thing a seller can do if you have tenants is to plan ahead. And you plan ahead by speaking to your real estate attorney and trying to come up with a plan to make sure that that house and that apartment is vacant at the time of closing. If you need further information, do not hesitate to call us at Yvette Dudley Law Group at 718-341-3000.